Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel. It is June the 3rd. It's a Wednesday morning and this is your Chelsea news updates today. After yesterday was a pretty incredible day. Right now, we're still a bit unsure. It's been the night time and you guys are waking up watching this video and there's a lot of stuff to go into today. And we begin first of all with the latest regarding Mike Maignan. And obviously this broke yesterday morning and Ben Jacobs has said this about Maignan's move to Chelsea. Mike Maignan is open to a move to Chelsea following positive talks. Milan were more inclined to keep Maignan in a bid to buy time for him to extend, but their lack of Champions League football could force them to sell for 20 to 25 million pounds, potentially with some add-ons on top. Chelsea's plan in January was to judge existing keepers, but qualifying for the Champions League, coupled with Milan missing out on Europe, has presented an unexpected market opportunity. Things could move fast as Chelsea are now expected to place an offer. Listen, I said it in the video yesterday, right? Mike Maignan, with 1 year left on his contract, that means that he's not going to be costing the 70, 80, even 90 million pounds that I think have been touted for him over the years. I might have got that one a little bit wrong, but 20 to 25 million quid for a 29-year-old world-class goalkeeper is absolutely incredible business. So I think Chelsea here now, even if it is the higher end of that 20 to 25 million, surely this is absolutely worth a punt. There's also rumours that Petr has been tracked by AC Milan for some time as well. Because, of course, with Milan, with Maignan not signing that contract extension, they will have also been doing their groundwork to try and look at goalkeepers that could replace him. And I think in this sense, right, I was reading a lot of the comments that you guys put on yesterday's video, where we talked about the breaking news about Chelsea even going for Mike Maignan. A lot of you guys were saying, well, isn't it a bit unfair on Petr? Shouldn't we be backing our own a little bit more? I mean, you could say that about any player, right? We should say, well, surely we should be backing Jackson. There's got to be a point where there's certain types of signings or certain calibers of players that you just look at and you've got to call it what it is. Petr, I think, is a really good goalkeeper. But for Chelsea to bring Mike Maignan in for 20 million, 25 million quid, if we were to get even the same amount back for Petr, and I think Petr could easily be a 30 million pound keeper, with the other goalies that we've actually got on our books at the club, such as Mike Penders, and this is the latest on him. Mike Penders is actually viewed as Premier League ready already, despite being 19. However, due to his age, he could still be loaned out. If Chelsea have got a player like Mike Penders that we've already bought into the club last summer, just over less than a year ago, we bought this kid in for what, 15 million, 20 million quid from Belgium. And I think with Mike Maignan being 29 years old, people are saying, oh, he's not really been very good the last 2 years, been injury record, and this season he's been bad. I mean, he's only conceded just over an average of a goal a game. He still made some big saves, big moments. He got 12 clean sheets this season too. Injuries, last season, he played 37 out of 38 Serie A games. So whatever injuries he might have had the season before, that seems to have gone. So I think at this point in time, right, no matter what news story comes out regarding Chelsea or any club, fans are going to find any reason to not like certain deals. And I think with this one, the fact that we've got Penders there, Jorgensen, I don't think we can sell him for more than we bought him for. This is one of those times where I think we just have to look at the model and be like, this is where taking opportunities actually helps. Chelsea getting an experienced keeper is the right decision. Petr still, despite having a good season last season, he is not as good of a goalie right now as Mike Maignan. And I think a lot of people are nervous or scared that in a couple of years' time, if Petr does turn out to be the next Thibaut Courtois, we don't want to be seen as the club that jumped too soon. I want players that are ready now. If Chelsea keep getting Champions League football, great, because it gives us the financial power and the muscle to compete financially with other big teams. And I want to see Chelsea in this transfer window looking at Champions League football, being like, okay, this is the start of something bigger. This is the start of being like, okay, now that we're back in Europe's elite competition where all of the top players want to play, now we can actually bring these guys in order to keep on doing that every year and start challenging for titles. So, throughout the course of the next few hours, there are going to be updates regarding Mike Maignan, but for 20 to 25 million pounds, guys, this is one of those opportunities that we absolutely cannot pass up on. At the moment, Fabrizio Romano is saying about 60%, but I'm going to call this out right now. How can you quantify in percentage chance whether or not a deal is going to happen? This is all on Chelsea. If we're seeing this story and I'm seeing this price, what can go wrong? Mike Maignan has been on what? 69,000 euros, I think it is, per week. So £60,000. Even if you paid him double, that is at least what he should be getting paid. He's a top goalie, guys. He really is. And it fits within the wage structure. We're not having to go and pay him 250, 300 grand a week. This is a player that is available for cheap. AC Milan is saying if there's a 25 million euro offer that comes in, then we should take it and sell him. This is an absolutely brilliant opportunity. Mike Maignan is open to it. Maresca is saying that he is also in favour of this move. So let's see what happens in the coming hours regarding this one. The next story of the day. Breaking. Chelsea are interested in West Ham star Mohammed Kudus, who has an 85 million clause for Premier League clubs active for the first 10 days of July. Hashtag CFC Simon Jones from Mail Sport. I mean, look, Mohammed Kudus, I would have been interested in this 2 years ago. 85 million quid for a guy that scored 5 goals and 3 assists in the Premier League last season. Considering we're talking about potentially a £30 million move for Jamie Gittins. I know I've not really been like jumping out the chair for Jamie Gittins, but if we get him for £30 million, then I think that is an absolute bargain. And I think if you look at Mike Maignan, Liam Delap, and Jamie Gittins, if we get all of those guys through the door for 85, 90 million quid, that is incredible business from Chelsea. And look, I think Dilap, obviously you want to have another striker come in with him. With Gittins, it is a bit of a gamble. He's still very young. His finishing is fantastic. His shooting quality is good. He loves running at players, beating players. He's got the speed. He's got the skill. He's got the full package. It's about whether or not he can elevate it to that next level to get Chelsea the improved output compared to what we saw from Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho wanted 300 grand a week. And look, I spoke about it yesterday, but maybe I didn't speak about it enough because the more I think about this, right, I'm like, this is actually really sad regarding Jadon Sancho because he was a player with so much promise. I remember like 4 years ago, 5 years ago on GBFC, my voice is going, guys, sorry about that. But I was saying about how desperate I was for Chelsea Football Club to sign Jadon Sancho, for Sancho to be back at his boyhood club. And now there's 2 Premier League moves where it's failed miserably at Manchester United. Chelsea don't see him as that 300 grand player. And it's kind of like he's caught with what he thought he could have been, but then he's never actually made it to what he could have been. And I just think it's a really sad story. But Mohammed Kudus, guys, to wrap this one up, I don't really see this being a thing. Niko Williams as well. Exclusive from Ben Jacobs here. Niko Williams has began initial talks to renew his Athletic Bilbao contract. Parties discussing a salary pushing 10 million euros and release clause could increase should a deal be agreed. Not yet a guarantee. Suitors like Arsenal and Chelsea see value in Williams' current 58 million clause and he remains on their radar, but overall cost of the transfer, wage and agent fees make it expensive. So for me, this sounds like a Wilfried Zaha at Crystal Palace kind of story, right? Probably was always of the calibre of player and the quality of footballer, where he could have got a bigger move, could have been playing at a bigger club, maybe should have been, ends up staying, and then basically everything dwindles out. With Niko Williams, right, the 58 million is good, but it's like we're seeing here with Jadon Sancho. And it's difficult for me or for you guys in the comments, unless you're making 300 grand a week, you don't know how easy that would be psychologically just accept a 100 grand a week contract. You know what I mean? Looking at it from the outside, I'm like, well, Sancho's not worth 300 grand a week. There's nothing you can say to me that will change my mind on that. Nico Williams, yeah, again, the numbers aren't massive, but he's just going to keep getting paid big money in the hope that he's going to have a season that just explodes in terms of numbers. And then someone might be like, okay, we're going to pay you 300 grand a week or whatever it is he's after. But I think what we're seeing this summer is a reluctance from a lot of Europe's top clubs to not pay these big wages. Victor Gyökeres, we said it all week. I'm still not seeing anyone concrete go out for Victor Gyökeres. Blimmin' Osimhen right now. He's only got Saudi Arabia to go to. And I've given up on Victor Osimhen coming to Chelsea now because, same as Sancho, he thinks he's worth that. He's not going to budge. Someone will pay. So he'll just go there. There isn't really like too much of a care. And I'll say in the same breath, credit to Bruno Fernandes because he said no to going to Saudi Arabia because he wants to keep playing at the top level. So there's some players that will go because money's the motivator and there's others that won't. In the case of Nico Williams, he's been at Bilbao forever, basically. So I think it's one of them where he's more than happy to stay if he's getting that money. And unless he gets that money, why would he leave? Fair enough. Do your thing. We move on. So I'm also very excited to see who we actually have playing for us in the Club World Cup because Liam Delap is already a Chelsea player. We're waiting for like official announcements from the club, but the medical's done, the contracts are signed, everything's done. We're just waiting for that announcement. Delap had been in line to play at the Under-21 tournament for England, but is instead expected to travel to the United States with Chelsea along with defender Mamadou Sarr, who has officially joined the Blues permanently from Strasbourg. So there's quite a few signings here that we kind of forgotten about. Sarr maybe ends up going back out on loan. Isugo is also coming in. I'm quite excited to see him play as well. But Liam Delap is the interesting one here for the Club World Cup because do we get an Ekitike move done? We're still in talks with Frankfurt and the rumours are still that it's about just getting that price down because Ekitike wants the move. Can Chelsea manage to negotiate with Frankfurt to make that price a bit less than the £84.5 million that have been quoted to Chelsea all this time? So with Delap coming in, he'll be able to go to the Club World Cup if he decides he won't go to the Under-21s with England. I think he should. I think he's just made a huge move to Chelsea. It's a Club World Cup. It's the England Under-21s. I might understand it if it was the first team, but come on. Let's come for the flipping Club World Cup and show that he should be Chelsea's number 9. And if Ekitike is signed, and look, I think today could be a big day. Every single day at the moment is going to be a big day. But if we're going to get Ekitike done, can we get it done before the Club World Cup begins? Can we get him out there on the plane to go to America to be able to be even selected? He didn't go with the France Under-21s, so whether that is for rest or whatever, he's got a big transfer coming up, probably. Is it Liverpool? Is it Chelsea? But I'll be very excited to see Liam Delap at the Club World Cup. I think we should be giving him minutes straight away. I think he can fit in. He knows a lot of the players. He knows Palmer. We've got that link up to look forward to. He also knows Lavia. I think Delap is going to hit the ground running, to be quite honest. But I think it's exciting when we're still linked to other strikers. So is it going to be Ekitike? Let's see how quickly we can get that done. The next piece of news, Kendry Paez and Matise Amugu are both expected to join RC Strasbourg on loan. This is a tweet from Blueco Extra. This came from The Athletic. Kendry Paez, lots of us are talking about Paez thinking, why would he go on loan? I see this very similar to what we saw last season with Andre Santos. I thought Santos, when I watched him in pre-season, I'm like, this guy can do it. This guy is going to the top. He's a midfielder that could easily be in the Chelsea squad. We loaned out Conor Gallagher. Why would we not have Santos in the team? With Kendry Paez, I think it's going to be very difficult for Kendry Paez to get minutes. As good as I think he's going to be, and people may be sleeping on him a little bit because Esteval's kind of taken the majority of the hype, as well as Andre Santos. But Kendry Paez is only 18. There are huge demands of Chelsea players now. We want to try and go for the Premier League title. I don't care what anyone says. We should be aiming for the Premier League. We can't just settle for keep challenging for fourth. Matisse Amugu as well. This was always a Strasbourg signing for me. I mean, he can celebrate winning the Europa League, Conference League. Great for him. Well done. With Isugo, Santos, Caicedo, Lavia, Enzo, there's no chance for him. And I think for Paez, he would also be so far down the pecking order. As much as we might not want him to go, as much as we might want to see him, and we might see him in the Club World Cup, to be fair, maybe he plays, maybe he features, maybe he sets the world on fire. Let's hope he does. But otherwise, I think we'd be sat here in like November, and he's got, 30 minutes of football, 40 minutes of football? He should have gone on loan. So I think it's smart from Chelsea to actually move this one forward. So this is also an exciting piece of news regarding the Club World Cup winners. The winner will be awarded a special championship badge, and it will remain on their shirt for 4 years. The inaugural champion will keep the gold logo until 2029. Now, obviously, I'm out here in the US because we're going to be covering Chelsea, doing match vlogs, doing 6 things on the ground here for the Club World Cup. There's a lot of people that are still belittling this competition. And I'll say this, right? Even if it's just for the finances, it's worth going for this. $134 million for the winners. That's 100 million quid. That is astronomical profit that comes into the football club. As well as that, when the World Cup started in the flipping early 1900s, right? People then were probably like, this is the best thing on earth because we've got something that we didn't have before. Now, because this is different, it's difficult to get on board with it because we've already got so much football. We've already got so many competitions. There's already the Club World Cup. The fact that it's so much money should be enough reason for the teams to get really excited about it and want to win it. And as a result of that, the fans should reciprocate. If we see a load of the big clubs this summer fielding weakened teams or not bringing out full squads or whatever, then I think it's doomed to fail. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think there's too much at stake here. So having a gold logo on our kit, that's cool. That is absolutely cool. The trophy's also sick. I just think we should be taking this really seriously. I think we will. The final story today. This is an alternative to Mike Maignan. Chelsea have inquired about Burnley's James Trafford. James Trafford had a remarkable season, but Mike Maignan is a world-class elite goalkeeper. James Trafford is young. Yes, he's relatively experienced for his age, and I think he's a good goalie. But I think if we're going to sign Miani, brilliant. Opportunity, go for it. What is it going to cost to get James Trafford from Burnley? Same amount of money? Mike Maignan is the experience that we need. He ticks so many boxes. Let's see how this story develops today. I'm going to protect my voice. Going to wrap this news video up for you guys. There will be another one in a few hours' time when I wake up. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Smack a like if you enjoyed yourselves. Come on, you Blues.